popularly known as KTR. Welcome.
Thank you, Dibang. You know, I saw your name and I looked you up. I thought Dabang movie आप ही के ऊपर बनाया गया होगा. So lovely seeing you, lovely meeting you. But then I
Thank you,
realized,
sir.
no, no.
Yeah.
But then I realized you're also an actor.
Yeah.
You acted in Pink, Half Girlfriend.
Yeah.
You were also part of a number of other movies. So
Yeah.
lovely seeing you in person.
Thank
You very much.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
me.
Thank you. Just tell me, if you talk about the last assembly elections, what do you think went wrong? Have you made an assessment? Have you been sitting together just to find out what went wrong?
Yeah, of course. And it's been 11 months. So, of course, we introspected. We had a lot of discussions internally. We've been meeting a lot of people, who are our well-wishers and not so well-wishers also. But I think one of the things where we went wrong, obviously, is आपको पहली बात तो ये समझना चाहिए कि 10 साल बाद कोई भी गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर थोड़ा एंटी इनकम्बेंसी तो आ ही जाता है. I think 10 years, there's a fatigue factor, firstly. And secondly, I think perception management is where we didn't do well. For instance, I'll give you two examples. One, unlike any other state in India, Telangana is the only state to have completed recruitment of 1,60,000 government jobs in the last 9 years, despite being a new state. But unfortunately, we could not, thank you now, but unfortunately, we could not communicate that to the youngsters fully well. So I think we lost them. And then Telangana is the only state which also gave a 73% enhancement to government employees in terms of their salaries. But unfortunately, we also lost them. So it's an interesting thing, I think there is that saying, you can increase success by lowering expectations. I think we set the bar too high. I think the expectation was too high. Probably, I think the perception management is one issue. And second issue, of course, like I said, is fatigue. But I don't think we have done anything terribly wrong. Even if you look at the numbers, Dibang, the winning party, that is Congress, got 64 seats. And the percentage of votes, if you look at it, it's about 38.9, I think. And what we got was 37 odd percent, which is only a difference of 1.8. So it's not like we lost by a huge margin after 10 years. And if you look at union government as well, their numbers came down from 303 to 240. So even in our case, we came down by a bit, but I don't think it was a big loss because we lost 14 seats by a whisker. But it's a good new experience. So going through a new role, new experience, it's all learning.
How much credit would you give to Revanth Reddy and the way he conducted his campaign, the way he fought the election?
See, Dibang, I'll tell you what, without sounding like a sore opposition leader, I'll tell you this as a matter of fact. Elections in India are 90% about rejection and 10% about selection. Now, what do I mean? बहुत बार ये हो जाता है ना कि अगर आप और मैं दोनों लड़ रहे हैं इलेक्शन, आप एक दो बार जीत चुके हो, फिर लोगों में अगर एक तनाव सा आ जाता है, एक फटीक सा आ जाता है, तो आपको हराने के लिए मुझे जिताते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि मुझ में कोई आस या मुझ में कोई नया चीज कुछ दिखा इसीलिए मुझे जिताया. बहुत कम, मतलब कम परसेंट is about somebody else being elected, because Congress as a party is not new to Telangana. They've governed the state for more than 50 years. They've been given more than 11 opportunities. But I think what Congress has done very well, I have to give them credit where it's due. They could create a very imaginative campaign with their 6 guarantees. I think that captured the imagination of some people for sure. And I think people thought, KCR ने पानी दे दिया, KCR ने बिजली दे दिया, बाकी जो है वो तो हो गया, ऑटो पायलट मोड में चला गया, तो कुछ और ट्राई करते हैं, कुछ ज़्यादा मिलेगा हमें. 2000 अगर मुझे पेंशन मिल रहा है, 4000 कांग्रेस बोल रही है, हम दे देंगे. So they thought maybe this is the time to change. So that's what I would say.
Personally, how do you read it, considering you were the IT minister, you were keeping a close eye on the numbers, on the ratings, and you completely misread it?
Well, these things happen, yeah. Devang, life is not a zero-sum game. Every single experience, every single election is a great teacher. I mean, if you look at it, the way I think honestly, when we launched Telangana Rashtra Samiti back in 2001, the goal was simple, formation of state. उसके लिए हम कुछ भी करेंगे. हमने इस हद तक बोल दिया कि कांग्रेस में अगर जरूरत पड़ा तो हमारी पार्टी को मर्ज कर देंगे. ये 2010, 11 और 14 की बात है. So our whole goal was formation of Telangana. What happened post that is, of course, Congress could not manage the proposal. So fortunately for us, we remained as an entity 10 years of being in government and being given the chance or to govern a beautiful state like Telangana and making it the number one state on number of sectors. Per capita income, when in 2014, we were ranked 14th. By the time we relinquished office in 2023, we were ranked number one in the country. Likewise, I can go on. There's number of indicators: agricultural expansion, IT sector, green cover. There's number of achievements that I can very, very proudly say, are from my government. But the most important thing is you have to realize, I think in politics, there's always a chance that you will be thrown out. You will be given a new role. So in fact, if anything, I'm grateful to the people of Telangana for giving us 2 terms. Eternally grateful. I'm not even saying this as a gesture, but eternally grateful. Now it's a new role. Play the role of constructive opposition, hold the government accountable, make sure they don't do mistakes, make sure they deliver on the promises that they've made. So I think it's a great role. I'm enjoying my new role.
People say that it was the arrogance of the ruling family. It was the family and extended family that came in play. And also allegations of...
Are you talking about Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka? Or?
No, in your family. I'm talking about your family.
No, just making sure.
Yeah. And also with these 2 things, we have also seen that, there were allegations of corruption. Have you, in your internal review, did you also consider these things, and do you find there's some truth in it, or it's all made up?
No, I'll tell you what. See, when you're self-assured, sometimes you come across as being cocky. When you're very self-assured, when you're confident, sometimes you do come across. और कुछ लोगों में एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिफेक्ट भी होता है. तो मुझ में मैं थोड़ा सेल्फ अश्योर्डली बोलता हूँ, थोड़ा शायद मेरी बॉडी लैंग्वेज, बोलने का ढंग किसी को पसंद नहीं आया, तो क्या करें? आजकल एक फैशन हो गया दिवांग कि अगर मुझ में कोई कमियां ढूंढनी है, कमियां निकालनी है, तो लोग क्या करेंगे? पहले शुरू करेंगे कि आप फैमिली से हो, फिर बाद में बोलेंगे इस वजह से आप मिनिस्टर बने, फिर बोलेंगे कि आप पप्पू हो क्योंकि आप कुछ कर नहीं सकते. बट जब सब चीज गायब हो जाता है, when you are a performing minister, even though you are somebody's son, when you have done well in your job, then what do? Then they'll start looking for the intangibles. They'll start saying you're arrogant, you're corrupt. Now let them prove. Where was I arrogant? कहाँ मैंने अपनी घमंड दिखाई? कहाँ मैंने किसी को मेरी घमंड से कुछ तकलीफ पहुंचाई? और कहाँ मेरी करप्शन की जो चार्जेस है, जो आपने कहा अभी, कुछ अगर प्रूव होता है तो बात बनती है. अगर आप ऐसे ही कुछ भी बोल दो और केस बना दो, आजकल हिंदुस्तान में तो फैशन हो गया, विच हंटिंग ऑफ पॉलिटिशियंस. अगर आप बीजेपी के साथ हो तो कुछ नहीं होता आपको, ना ईडी आपके पास आएगी, ना आईटी आपके पास आएगी. पर अगर आप बीजेपी एनडीए के पास नहीं हो तो हर कोई आपके घर पे आ जाएगा. तो ये तो फैशन हो गया. पॉलिटिकल विच हंट has become a fashion. So what I would say is, like I said at the onset, I think what we did not do properly is perception management. When people were accusing us of being aloof, of being inaccessible, of being arrogant, I think we should have addressed it, shown by way of compassion, by way of action, by way of social media presence, by way of many other things, that we actually have listened, understood, and probably have also made some changes. Maybe that didn't come to the fore very clearly, but I do believe one thing very clearly, Divang. All these things, the short-term gains that people achieve by way of, fake propagandas and by way of, fooling around, I think essentially then people again, the people of Telangana or the people of the country, when they sit back and start judging in terms of performance and in terms of governance, they will surely realize that our government performed better than any other government in India in the last 10 years, be it BJP or Congress. BRS government, I think, has outdone every other state in the country from 2014 till 2023. I think end of the day, that's what matters, if you ask me.
Your father, KTR Sahab, named his party TRS, called it BRS, national ambitions. He had national party he wanted to make. And then he lost the elections against somebody who started his politics with him, Revanth Reddy I'm talking about. Is it a big shock for him? Is he out of that shock? He's not seen anywhere publicly? Is he, how is he?
He's fab, he's fabulous. I think he's seen way too much life. He's seen way too much in life, I think, to be shocked by anything. Trust me on this when I say this. He's a man whose nerves are made of steel. That man cannot be shaken, that man cannot be deterred by anything. I assure you of that. KCR is... no matter what anybody would like to believe. But मैं सवाल एक आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं और आई थिंक ऑल द मीडिया से भी पूछना चाहता हूं. सवाल आपको ये पूछना है कि ये नहीं पूछना है कि केसीआर कहां पे है. मैं पूछता हूं, सवाल आपको ये करना चाहिए कांग्रेस से कि आपके 6 गारंटी कहां पे है. आपने कहा 100 दिन में हर चीज हो जाएगा, हथेली में आपने जन्नत दिखा दिया. क्या हुआ? कोई शौक, कोई धक्का केसीआर को नहीं लगा. मैं वादा करता हूं आपसे, मैं उम्मीद दिलाना चाहता हूं आपको. केसीआर is planning, KCR is thinking, KCR is worried about Telangana, KCR is definitely concerned, of course, about Telangana, because it was never the agenda that we have to be holding on to power by hook or crook. The agenda was always well-being of Telangana. The agenda was always making Telangana great and greatest probably in the entire country. We have done very well in 10 years, of course. Sometimes, like they say, fool me once, fool me twice. So therefore, I think people have been taken for a ride by Congress. I think people have already started realizing their mistake. Hopefully, we'll be given another chance in 3 years. Then you'll certainly see KCR in the top seat again.
Do you think as a strategy it was a mistake to concentrate too much on urban seats, urban areas, big farmers, not so much in the rural areas, because those are the seats you lost. You did quite well in the urban centers.
No, we swept urban. In fact, Hyderabad and GHMC, Congress did not even win one seat. We won the entire GHMC area thanks to people of Hyderabad for voting for development, for voting for progress. I think they have done exceptionally well. Now, in the rural areas, I think what has happened is, like I was telling you, I think the farmers, despite receiving some tremendous support, in fact, some pioneering and flagship schemes which are hitherto unknown and unheard of in entire independent India, like Raitu Bandhu, first time in the world, farm input scheme has been launched. 73,000 crores of rupees have been dispersed towards 72 lakh farmers. But I think farmers, when they were told that KCR is only giving you 10,000, Congress will give you 15,000, they were a bit, I think, attracted. Likewise, when the couple, the people who are senior citizens, earlier before 2014, the pension in Telangana was 200 rupees per month. After KCR came in, it became 2,000. It was raised by 10 times. But when Congress said, we'll double it, almost like an auction, I think people were lured, people were attracted. So these are the few things that happen in rural areas. But in Hyderabad, I think we did really well. The strategy was not wrong. In fact, if you ask me, I think if you have to define KCR government in a few words, I'd say it was integrated, holistic, and inclusive development that we saw in the last 10 years, which included rural, urban, which included, I think, agriculture and IT. It was a fine balance between industry and environment. I can go on. I have a number of statistics to back them up with. It was a great vision and a great outcome. But I think 1.8% is the difference. If you look at the total votes, polled votes, the difference was 4 lakhs. So I don't think we've done badly, Devang. I don't think we should say that we've lost in the rural areas for lack of strategy or something.
Yours began as an agitational politics, then you came to power. We saw the same thing in Assam once, when AGP came to power. Somehow these parties run out of steam. They are basically good parties for agitations. Once they come to power, somehow they become arrogant, they become difficult, they lose touch with the people. Have you thought about that?
Well, I think you're being selective in terms of picking the parties. I think Congress also started as a party which was agitating for independent India. Grand old parties, they're still around. They haven't lost any steam from what I see. So therefore, what I would say is, Assam Gana Parishad is a different example. Jharkhand Mukti Morcha is a very different example. TRS is a different example. The leadership styles are different. The people are different. If you look at, Tamil parties, both DMK and Anna DMK, they're the ones who are ruling the roost. I can assure you of one thing. In South India, I can assure you of one thing. Be it Tamil Nadu, be it Karnataka, be it Telangana, be it Andhra, or Kerala for that matter, I think regional parties are here to stay. We are not going